Today I'm going to show you guys one of the tricks that we use on the farm to get more production out of the same land without actually expanding the land. That's coming up next on The Urban Farmer. What I'm doing here today is creating what I call a double bed. So this only works for some crops. Primarily it works for crops that are quick growing and one-off things. So the ones that I do this most for are radishes and turnips, but I can also do it with arugula and some other quick growing crops that we grow in the summer and sometimes the spring. In this case we are in the spring and I need over one bed of radishes per week to basically harvest and crop out. So the idea here is that I can forfeit the walkway between these two beds and get another 3 rows of crops. So radishes I do at 7 rows per 30-inch bed, and my walkways are 10 inches. So if I forfeit one of my walkways, I can get another 3 rows in and basically make a double wide bed. The reason I can get away with that is because the crop is temporary and I don't need the walkway to stand over to manage the bed, because these crops grow fast enough that once they're mature, we're pretty much going to crop out the entire thing and then turn it over, and then that walkway might become a walkway again. So again, the idea here is that this has got to be done with crops that either come out of the ground at once or grow really quickly where you're only going to get, say, 1 cut. So in the case of arugula in the summer, it sometimes is ready in 21 days and we'll only get 1 cut, and then we turn it under and plant something else. And radishes and turnips are more or less always the same thing. They might take a little bit longer to grow in the spring, but they are usually all harvested at once, especially this time of year. So I wouldn't do this for my first or second plantings in the season, because I sometimes will go through and thin harvest them. But since we are mid-April today and I'm going to cover these with poly low tunnels just like what you see here, they're going to be mature in about 30 days, cropped out, and then turned into something else. So that's why it'll work in this context. So this isn't going to work for things like carrots or any kind of crop you're going to keep picking off, like say it's kale or even lettuce. You know, we get multiple cuts of lettuce. That wouldn't work in this context. It's all about a one-off crop. So we're temporarily forfeiting the walkway, and all I'm doing is coming through with a pitchfork here, loosening up this walkway, and I will take my tilther, loosen the soil, put a little bit of compost and fertilizer on it, and then I'll have one really wide bed that you'll see. When I'm seeding this, it's a little tricky because I can't walk down the walkway because that's no longer there. Nice thing is the Jang seeder allows you to extend the handle, so I can kind of keep it like this, and I can get a further extended reach. They're all planted now, and I've put my drip in, which is normally how this plot's set up. And the cool thing that I did that I really like is I put in this new, I sewed in a line to go down the walkway, and I just put in one of these on and off valves, which is great because it gives me optionality. So whenever the time comes that this walkway is going to come back, I'll just flip this guy off, flip it off on the other end, and I'll keep it there so it keeps this line from leaking out water. But I've got it there as an option anytime that I want to do this as a double bed again. I'm in my front yard and I'm going to crop out this double bed of radishes. This was seeded April 13th. Today is May 11th. That's 28 days to harvest. I had poly tunnels on it briefly, maybe for a week and a half or something like that. I am now going to harvest this double bed, and you'll see how that all plays out. Okay, you guys will notice that when I was harvesting that, I was stepping on the bed here and there because I kind of had to get in and out of it. And that's not a big deal, you know. A little bit of foot pressure here and there dispersed around the bed isn't really going to do much to it. It's not a big deal. So you can see as I had kind of worked it and walked over it more, my original walkway has kind of come back because that was the place that I was just standing in. as I was harvesting it. So that's the double bed. So you can see that you can get another 3 rows of production in the case of radishes, but if you did something like an arugula crop, you could get another 4 rows. So it's a way you can just kind of squeak out a little bit more crop here and there. So if you guys have found that useful, please hit the subscribe button right now. Like and share these videos with your friends, and check out my online course, profitableurbanfarming.com, and my book at theurbanfarmer.co. And if you'd like to make a donation to the show, it's always appreciated. Go to theurbanfarmer.co/support. All right, see you soon.